Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for new battle report. So this is the second game of Bellum Lacum. We are facing a team of solid player. I'm paired against Dest, so it's a team from East France that is playing also the French qualifiers. Definitely a quite strong team, and I was paired against their Saurian ancient player. Here you have an overview of our pairing, how it worked. So we played Capture the Flag and Spoil of War. We throwed our War of the Dark God army. They put, I think, Saurian Ancient. I went as an answer together with Demon Legion. They picked me, and the Demon got paired against Vampire Covenant. And then we had the match on flag between Vermin Swarm and our KOE player. This is my list, just as a reminder, and this was my opponent's list. So basically, he's playing an Archmage, very strong magic, so Master Alchemy, +2 Spell of Pyro, Binding Scroll. He has a speedy Cayman Master with a 3-up, 4-up regen. A small guy with a breast weapon, I think a 2-up armor save. Then he has a big block of Tegu Warriors with Cayman Mentos, 8 Cayman with a Flaming Standard as well, 21 Squink Warriors, 6 Cayman Elders with the BSB item, 10 Mystics with a champion and an additional spell. So he has here 1 spell, here 1 spell, his 6 spell, and another one somewhere. I think he has total of 9 spell, if I'm right. Then he has 3 Tyroscutus. I didn't know them before, but basically it's movement 6-10. They have March and Shoot. They can shoot 18, 2 Bolt or Shot, multi-wound D3, strength 5. Really strong. They got +1 to Dave the Lodestone, so +1 to hit against armor save 3 or better. So really good unit that can also act as chaff, still pretty cheap, so I found that really strong. And then to Salamander. We played Spoil of War on Marching Column, and here you have both players' spell selection. As you can see, the number of spell that he has is just crazy. He has one of Druidism, Break the Spirit, Awaken the Beast, all from champions. And then the Archmage has 6 spells, so crazy spell, really strong from distance, really strong in close combat as well. And on the left you have my spell selection. Matchup analysis. So we are playing Marching Column, Spoil of War. I would be quite happy to start, obviously, in this configuration. I have to be careful about his multi-wound shooting. If I don't start, I definitely have to minimize what he might do with his turn 1 shooting. Chaff Watch, he has plenty of units that he can sacrifice in front of me, so I have to keep in mind where he can chaff. He's not chaffing so far away. For example, Tyroscutus only movement 10, so it's not crazy fast, but still I have to keep that in mind. Crazy magic, I faced them before. I mean, both distance and close combat, it's crazy what he can provide with magic. So really, I have to be careful when engaging. My estimation that I put in the matrix, as you saw before, is a green. After the game, I would have said maybe slightly differently. We will see at the end how that turned out and what did I think about the matchup. Deployment. So I won't roll for sides, and I pick bottom because I have like a wall in my deployment zone, a field, plus a ruin. So really good against shooting, I felt, but in exchange of that, he could start and see 3 of my unit. So he started on the left, put a Tyroscutus, I put a Giant outside of shooting range, then he put some Skinks, I put 3 Tribesmen, he put his Cayman block, where I decided to put 3 Tuskers, and then he deployed the rest. He puts his Skink with the, I think it's Skinks together with his Archmage, then he had the Cayman Master, then he has his 6 Cayman Elder, big block of Tegu Guard with the Great Weapon guy, Tyroscutus, Speedy, and the 2 Salamander. And I decided to face him. As you saw from my estimation, I felt quite good about the matchup. We'll see whether or not that was right. So I decided to face him and try to block all access to the secondary. So I put quite in front my Ginget guy. Here you see my trappers that put a trap on this field. I forgot that he could breast weapon on them turn 1, which was already a not turn. I think he couldn't turn 1. That's what I measured. I think turn 1 he couldn't breast weapon on them. Yeah, I remember about that. Then the 5 dogs. Here you have the Bruiser with old character, 3 Tribesmen, and I decided to block the right, but as you see, I'm not strong enough to get easily first token. I minimize everything. The only shot that he got is these 2 shots against them behind the wall. I felt okay about him eating on 6 up against them, and the rest basically is everything out of range, and I measured that with the Scratapult I could with one movement be in the ring and be in hard cover. So I felt it's not bad. We'll see if this game plan is right or not. His turn 1, he pushed forward. Sorry about blurry picture. This tournament I didn't took so great picture, but basically he pushed here on the left, tried to shoot at them. He organized several counter charge in case I want to charge here. He could easily counter charge me with multiple units. The rest pushed towards the middle. In the magic phase, Quicksilver Lash did nothing to my lucky Tusker, and then he tried Molten Copper, but I dispelled that one, so he didn't do too much this first round. My turn 1, I trapped the hill, decided to hide behind. I kept straight line to have a look at the center, but as you can see, my Death Star is doing a decent job at zoning several units, while I'm feeling quite weak on the left after seeing the pictures. Definitely here a big mistake. My Tusker Ginget should have angled differently to be able to charge here on the left. In case he wants to push on the token, I need to make sure I have multiple units that can charge here and create problems for him. So definitely here a very bad positioning for my Tusker Ginget. Other than that, I kept behind the wall, kept those guys quite far away from him. Wanted to avoid some early shots. And on the right, I went in the ring, and here I took the field with 2 units to have some covers as well. In the magic phase, I got Trail of Phase, did 2 wounds to these Tyro Scooters, which is a good start. Then I got Wrath of God in front of his unit, and I got Bro's Catapult on a 6 up against his block. One of them misfired, the other one didn't hit. And that's the end of my turn 1. His turn 2. So yeah, he took advantage from what I told you before. He used the Speedy to chaff those guys, push hard with the Cayman to be on the token, push as well with the Tyro to continue shooting at me. He uses his Speedy to breast weapon on my Trappers, trying to get rid of them, and the rest didn't move much. He got a bit away from the Wrath of God. He felt very rightly that he had an advantage on secondary objective because I have nothing too close from the 2 token here. Going to be hard to get this one. Here in the middle we are going to battle between strong unit, and on the left he got 1-0. So he didn't need to push too much, so he just went a bit away from my Wrath of God basically. Only took a risk with this one because he's quite close of it. And he took a wound I think from DT here and maybe another one from the traps. Not sure about this one. I felt he failed one. He was on 1 wound remaining. Nevertheless, magic phase. So he Quicksilver Lash my guys here, did 2 wounds. Then I dispel Break the Spirit on them as well. And shooting attack, he did 3 wounds to my tribesman here, which is not too bad. So we'll see what I do on my turn. I didn't have a lot of options, so basically charging the Tusker here would mean an easy flee and a rally here in the bubble. The BSB is here, so it's not a problem for him. Nothing else interesting to charge with them because of my bad positioning. I don't see those guys. I could have done differently. And here I have a charge that I have to take because with the breast weapon he killed 4 out of 5 and I passed the 6 rerollable or something. So I have 1 gun remaining that can chaff here. And if I chaff here, then I can get into this combat. At least I'm going to try. So my turn 2, I take the charge, chaff here. Reposition to get the leadership here, but here again another mistake. I should have been looking more at the left to have a view on the combat and this unit as well. So he basically can take the chaff and then I'm not in a good position to punish him. So I should have done differently here with the Tusker again. Just brought my Great Can, which is a bit odd, but still allows me to get 9 leadership, which could be important. And I didn't want to be out of the unit that get shot at. Basically, here I just reform, move slightly out of line of sight forward with the one that had the misfire. The other one didn't move at all. And those guys move slightly back. In the magic phase, I got he Binding Scroll, my +1 strength, which makes sense. He dispels Mighty Unbeliever, but I got Frenzy on those guys, so I got Battle Focus on them. Hand of Heaven, I killed the Lone Flyer here, which is nice and very important to avoid any chaff. And then close combat, the following happened. So I did 1 wound with Impact, 1 wound with the Riders, 1 wound with the Beast, and he took the +1 attack due to my base model. So he had like 8 attacks, and he did a bit higher than what I expected. As you saw here, he did 3 wounds, which is a wall model. So I had a charge, we did 3 to 3, so it's -1. It's a test on a 7, minimize, no reroll, and he passed that one, which is already a key test, definitely. But yeah, wasn't too happy about that, but I should have given, I think I couldn't have cast Rod of Battle instead of Hand of Heaven on him due to the fact that he had still quite a lot of dice left, and the likelihood of him dispelling that one was too high, basically. So I couldn't have buffed more, but yeah, a bit disappointing. I think I rolled pretty average, as you can see here. He just rolled slightly higher, could have made the test a bit harder for him, basically. He's turn 3. So he took the chaff here, took the first point, he moved. I didn't explain, but I decided at the same time to push with the giant and tell him, yeah, now I come at your face, you cannot escape my line of sight, so no matter what you do, I'm going to have a charge with the giant. We will see where. So I push hard, he moves in front of me, he's going to shoot me and chaff me at the same time. Turn around the Cayman, so go on the, he took the token charge. The rest didn't move much, he moved back for my Wrath of God that didn't come down, which was, yeah, annoying, but he moved still back. As I said, he has a huge advantage on the left. I'm in trouble to get something out of him, so he's doing that well. And the rest didn't move too much. In the magic phase, I Binding Scroll, Word of Iron, he healed 1 wound on his Cayman guy, which I accepted, and then I dispelled some other buff. Wrath of God comes down, did nothing, so unfortunate. And then shooting, he managed with 2 shots on a 4-up to hit 2 times, wounding on a 4-up. Wounding 2 times, and then roll 6 and 5, so 6 wounds. Likelihood of doing that is pretty low. As you can see, it's like, what, 25% of hitting full, and then divided by 4 to wounding full, and then the multi-wounds, another divided by something, so it's definitely below 10% chance, so quite unlikely. Now my giant is almost dead. I still have a chance to charge him, terror check. It's out of BSB, so maybe I can make him flee and get something for some other terror check. I will try something, definitely. And then what happened in combat? This time I did 1 wound to him, he did 3 wounds to me, and I had the check on the 7 rollable that I pass. But as you can see now, it took distracting. It still managed to roll high, so this guy is really a champ. Did roll high again, and this time I have to check and I pass 7 rollable. My turn 3. So yeah, I rearrange and try to correct my mistake. So I turn those guys towards the left. He moved back in the unit. Those guys decided to look at the left to basically punish my giant in case I get rid of him. I charge, he passed terror check and hold. Here we're still stuck in combat. Those guys remain quite far away. They reform in a way that if he got rid of me, he's going to be in my front, so he can only charge me in the front. And here I started to push more to get toward the middle. Try to get advantage at least from my Wrath of God. And on the right, I attempted also to bait him to charge me and try to create something because the standoff is not going well for me. In the magic phase, this time I got -1 strength on him, I guess. No, it's my turn. No, this time, yeah, -1 strength. He's 1 and he's 2, my 3. Yeah, -1 strength on the close combat, which is going to help me, and also -1 AP. Then I got another Wrath of God in front of him. Close combat, we did 0 to 0 thanks to the -1 strength. So nobody had to check, which is fine. We're still holding. And this one, and I had only a couple of wounds left. Him had 2 wounds left. The giant, basically, he decided not to crush attack and use normal attack. He did nothing with the skink, but the guy on top, or the beast, killed me with the 3 attack strength 4, and basically I didn't have the chance to attack, which is annoying, but that's how it is. His turn 4, I don't have a picture unfortunately, but basically here he turned looking at here, back at the middle, and moved 3 back, push the unit with the BSB to support. Basically want to deny me any charge, but because now I'm going to have an interesting charge with the Tuskus. Here move forward, I guess. Here we're still stuck in combat, the rest didn't move much, and he pushed forward with Salamander to shoot at them. In magic phase, he got +2 armor save on them, so he didn't want my Tusker to charge in, which makes sense. And then 5 dice against 5, he passed Break the Spirit on those guys, which is annoying. I'm a bit against the fact that champion can have access to a spell like Break the Spirit, which is really powerful. I think spell 5 and 6 shouldn't have something that you can have with champion, enclave, and so on. To be honest, I think it's a really great spell in some situation, and in this magical setup, just great. When you need it, you can just 5 dice. What happens if you miscast? Nothing. You lose the champion, and then basically I took 0 points, but I still have a game-changing spell. So I think this is a bit of an issue, to be honest. What happened in CC? Didn't get rid of me. I didn't do. Yeah, I think I'm no in CC. What happened this time? Yeah, I think we did nothing again, or he did some wounds. No, nothing again. 0-0. My turn, so you are still under my -1 strength. I charged with the Tusker, decided to chaff them, push forward on the token, charge those guys that went forward to get rid of my Trident, so I counter-charge them to take some points. Here I didn't do much because I'm in front of him, and that's it basically. In the magic phase, I got trial to kill him, so I get rid of him, which is nice, but I didn't buff this combat. And basically what happened in combat, I rolled pretty low. I did 0 wounds with the 2 Ginget guy, nothing with him. And basically I had a charge, a flank, a big flank, a standard, and he had like up 2 wounds or something. He lost by 2, which is 6 minimized rollable, I guess, and he passed that one, which is annoying because now you can counter charge me. So definitely it's cool to kill this unit, but it's not game changing. This one has a huge impact in the game. And on his turn, he got the charge on a 7. Boom. So yeah, really annoying for me, to be honest. Really annoying for me, but that's how it happened. And yeah. Nothing else I could do. Just pushed then the BSB, took my chaff, and it rallied the salamander in front of my catapult, so he's chaffing me again, basically. Magic phase, he got -1, armor 7 them, and then close combat is just going to get rid of them, basically. I managed to escape on 1 or 2 wounds, but I'm not going to rally on 5 rollable on my last round, so I'm giving full point for them. And basically on my last turn, we don't have the time to make this combat, which is unfortunate because I think he has no buffs. I have a good chance of get through them, I guess. And basically we don't have time to do it, so he just gave me half point of the unit, which I think was a fair solution. I got rid of that. He passes some panic check at some point on something here, but he passes that. Yeah. Yeah, last round when I killed this one, he had a non-rollable check on them that he passes. And basically that's how we ended up. So a bit frustrating to not have more time to play it out, but I think I've done plenty of mistakes. It ended up being an 8-12, so it's a defeat for me. Post-game analysis. So I wasn't happy to play second, obviously, despite nice covering trains. Deployment, I think I got the wrong approach and the wrong game plan. I'm going to talk more about that with a picture next slide. Lot of suboptimal choices on my side. I lack training against new SA. That's definitely one of the main reasons for, first of all, the wrong estimation leading to a wrong game plan and a wrong deployment, basically. Turn 2, turn 3, dicey combat versus the Cayman. The game could have been completely different if he failed the first check with the Cayman. If he failed that one, it's huge. It's not anymore blocking me on the left. I can do other stuff. So definitely that was really huge. Tusker Ginget placement I would say mostly turn 1 was a huge mistake, and then turn 2 also a small mistake, but definitely a catastrophic placement like I wrote here down. That had huge impact on the game. He shouldn't have. If I play in front of him, there is no spoil of war for free, basically. He has to battle for it, and here it was just too easy to go on it, to take away the chaff, no risk for him at all. Giant was a bit unlucky. I feel this game was a bit a mix between a lot of mistakes, definitely, and I like to talk about that because that's what I can influence. So a lot of mistake on the macro level and on the micro level, but also I've been unlucky, to be honest. I push 1 round with the Giant, it's 1 shooting phase, boom, almost down, it killed me in combat. It was multiple things like that. Catapult got 0 hits. A couple of things going that way. That was a bit annoying for me. Didn't allow me to got a bit more, to be more back in the game. I felt I was downward from my game plan, and I didn't manage to recover in any way, due also to what happens in several parts of the game, which can happen, but the combination of those two make the game really hard for me. Turn 4, I think my bruiser could have just push on the token, chaff his main block, and look at the left and tell him, if you go into this combat with the Cayman, then I can counter charge, and it could be huge for the game. Ginget going into CC, I should have made it safer and boost the combat. I didn't cast any buffs. I lacked, again, a bit knowledge, what should do to Ginget guy against distracting Cayman on the 3-up, 4-up. and basically I should have made the combat no harder for him by getting more buff and making sure that he breaks. So here could have made it better. Squat apples were key to allow the bruiser to push more against his big unit. I needed some shots to allow me to push more safely, which I didn't get. And yeah, Saurian, I felt they were really strong Tyro scooters. For me, it's crazy strong at the moment. 230, march and shoot, multi-wound shooting, crush attack in combat, being in a unit of 1 or unit of 3 where you can be, I think, stubborn. It's crazy good. The magical setup was also insane. The amount of spell, he paid some good point for that, but it's just insane what he does from distance and from close combat. And I think on my part, like I said, the wrong estimation as well. It should have been a yellow and not a green, and then I should have been deploying that way. So I think if we backtrack to the deployment, he put that one down, I put this one, he put this one, I put this one, and then he put the Cayman. And I think at this point of time, it's the moment where I made the mistake to put the Tusker, forcing me to get the BSB within 18, which was already a problem. I think the right deployment would have been to put here a Scratapult, then most likely because it's the Cayman, it's an important scoring, so he has to have the BSB within 12. So most likely would have kept something similar to what he did, and then I should have put Scratapult here that can easily back away if he wants to get that one. This Scratapult here, the Death Star facing this one, so maybe a slightly more to the left. Tusker Ginget here in a zone where they can really heavily push. The small Tusker here within 18, the Tribesman here that can go as well here and force him to charge me and then get counter charge and so on. So I could have done a way better deployment, a bit further away from him. He can get easily this one, I can get easily this one, and then we're going to battle for the middle. And here I think between the Tusker Gingat and the Death Star, I have very solid argument to get this one. I think so. So yeah, plenty of regrets, but mostly I don't have to be too harsh on myself. I think here I definitely lacked training, lacked experience on it. We didn't identify it when doing the matrix together before the round. Nobody from the team saw that it was not a green. So definitely we lacked some training here, and yeah, plenty of learnings. I'm really looking forward to making some more games with Saurian Ancient to get better knowledge of the matchup. What happened in the round? We got some 3 small defeat and a big win from Coco, which ended up being a 40-40. So at least we didn't lose. But yeah, 3 losses and 1 big win that compensate for everybody, and we ended up being 40-40, which is, yeah, we capped the first round, no draw, so we are still towards the top, but there are a couple of teams that got 2 capped and that's definitely higher than us. So we know that the third round is going to be quite important to make a high score and climb back the table towards the top. Guys, that's all for this battle report. I hope you liked it, and talk to you soon on the channel for the third game. Bye bye.